Hello everybody, welcome back to Brighouse Town TV. We've got Vill here after a win against Winterton Rangers. Any thoughts on the game, mate?
I thought we started off really poor, to be fair. First sort of, like I said, 10, maybe even 15 minutes. We were still on the bus. Still probably had sort of Christmas turkey and cranberry sauce on the brain. And you know, they went 1-0 ahead. We didn't sort of recognise their shape early enough on the pitch and deal with we didn't try hard enough to stop the cross, and then it's a free header in the box, midfield run, not tracking him, 1-0. And then I think first half, obviously we dominated it in terms of opportunities. You know, they got through on one chance, and obviously the kids hit the post. But other than that, you know, we've been relentless with the pressure for the most part of the first half. But 1-0 was probably a fair reflection of how poor we were at times with the ball and how hard they worked, certainly in midfield. They outworked our midfield first half, and how hard they worked when they didn't have the ball. So 1-0 to them was probably deserved, even though we probably had the majority of the possession and majority of pressure. They were good on the counter, and they as I say, were good in midfield. And second half, I said through a few home truths which needed to be said, but I just said we just need to sort of keep probing, keep pressing, and have a reaction second half. And to be fair to the lads, that's exactly what they did. And what I was really pleased with in the second half is that we, Brandon and Campbell were excellent. Both of those two were excellent in there, and it was relentless down the left hand side. There was no one getting on each other's back. We were positive. We were trying to move the ball well, trying to get it into the right areas. Yeah, right, we lack quality at times, but that's why we are where we are, and that's what we are at the end of the day at times. But we played some really good stuff, and Brandon was a constant threat. They couldn't manage him. At times they had to put 2 and 3 round him, and they couldn't. And in the end, the goal comes from great bit of play down the left hand side. Obviously fires it across. Keeper makes a great save on the first one. I think it's Crookie that taps it in. 1-1, and then you go, okay, right, can we keep the pressure up for the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and maybe they'll crack, or we can get a winner. I was deciding whether to keep Mo on, obviously, or take him off, obviously, with his hamstrings and his fitness levels. But they were good enough for him to stay on. I thought, Jordan, come on, involved in the play. It's a great ball into Mo, takes it and does what he's been doing, or certainly done the early part of the season, and nicks the winner. And I think, on the reflection and looking at the overall game and second half and the pressure and the opportunities, I think it was definitely deserved win. And in the end, a good performance, certainly in the second half.
We start the game basically 1-0 down after conceding so early on.
Yeah.
It felt like in the second half there was a lot more of a reaction to that goal. We totally dominated, but there just seemed to be a lack of end product up until additional time. What was different between the first half and the second half?
Well, I mean, we had chances in the first half. We had the lad clear one off the line, obviously from Mo's effort. The keeper's pulled off a great save as well. So we had chances in the first half. But I think that's that's how we are. We create lots of chances. Obviously, we're not clinical enough at times at key moments in the game, but that comes from obviously quality and experience and getting into them positions regularly. Which we do, but we just can't stick them away at the minute. Or seems to be a theme. But I think also give credit to Winterton. They defended for their lives. They put their bodies on. They were tracking runners. They were trying to get there. But in the end, I think just too much time without the football, it takes a toll on your fitness and your legs. And I think that's what it was in the end. And that opened the game up and enabled us to have more chances. And in the end, we just managed to get through on 2 occasions, which means we get the 3 points.
I do just want to comment on the back four. You mentioned Brandon Webster's performance today, really good. Jamie Allsop stepping in, seemed to have a really good performance. Are we going to be seeing him more often?
Jamie did okay today. As I said, there were still times where we were a bit sloppy, where we got underneath each other, and we created our own problems, which is it's a thing that we need to solve, and we've discussed, and we know what the problem is. But But yeah, I mean, Jamie's come in and he's got a great attitude. He's got a great mannerism, and obviously he's done a solid job for us today. Certainly the second half, but there's still areas that we need to improve defensively. Because I'm still not happy with the amount of opportunities that we seem to give other teams rather than other teams create against us through either our indecisiveness or poor decision making. But no, on a positive note, we've got to be sort of pleased with the performance of the group, attitude of the group, mentality of the group, and commitment. And it was, again, all those things were in abundance in second half, and I'm really pleased.
Yeah, so obviously amazing for us to finish on a win at the end of the year.
Yep.
But moving forward, we've got Liversidge, big derby on New Year's Day. What are our expectations from that game?
To put in another performance to improve.
Oh, okay, well, we'll leave it there for guys.
Done that on purpose.